Hello, welcome to the Military Transition Academy podcast. I am Misty Marino, one of your hosts, and I'm so glad to be with you on this episode. We are going to make it short and sweet and walk you through what we call the Vets to PM process. So at Vets to PM, we truly believe that if you translate well, you will transition well. And so now we are in the Veterans Are Supported era. And I wanted to truly explain to you why Vets to PM should be one of your resources that you utilize when it comes to the military transition. So regardless if you are separating, if you are enduring a medical discharge, or if you are retiring from the military transition, as far as the process, is very similar no matter who is enduring it. And so it starts with logistics, the resume, the interview, LinkedIn, finding a job, right? And maybe that includes moving to a different location, whatever it may be. But what most veterans overlook is the mental transformation piece. And so at Vets to PM, we want you to feel competent, meaning that you have a skill set that is transferable to the civilian sector, and that will increase your confidence. And so when you put competence and confidence together, that equals post-military prosperity. So we want you to achieve a meaningful and lucrative post-service career, whatever that definition means to you. And this is how we do it. So for 9 years, we have been helping 15,000 veterans transition from the military to the civilian sector. We also help lots of civilians as well. We just specialize in the veteran transition. But the first thing that we want you to do is truly to understand your transferable skill set. So we want you to identify what your transferable skill sets are. Most military members are walking out of the military with a project management skill set, with a human resources skill set, and a general management skill set. There's lots of other skill sets that you're walking out of there with as well, such as IT, cyber, whatever it may be. But for the majority, you are walking out of there with a project management skill set, a human resources skill set, and a general management skill set. So it's first important to identify that, yes, you do have transferable skill sets. So whatever you did in the military, I guarantee you, that is something that you can also do in the civilian sector. And so it's not necessarily the ins and outs of your specific job, but it's the skill sets, right? So I had a veteran today say, how would I say on my resume that I'm always the go-to person? And I said, oh, you're a problem solver. And so that's what we mean by transferable skill sets. And he said, well, I'm also always the one that people go to when there's a crisis. And I was like, oh, crisis management. And so you have transferable skills. And so the first step is to identify what those transferable skill sets are. And here is a real actionable step that you can take right now in order to do this. So go onto your favorite job board and download a couple of job descriptions that speak to you. So maybe you're looking at like a project coordinator, project management, or human resources business partner, or whatever it may be, right? So download a couple of job postings that really speak to you. Get a highlighter. I like to print them. And so get a highlighter and start highlighting all of the things that are mentioned in that job posting that you have done before. And so what you want to do is highlight those roles and responsibilities that you've done before. Highlight those skill sets that they're looking for that you have. And then most importantly, highlight those basic and preferred requirements that you have. So take one color of a highlighter and highlight those things that you possess. So whatever's on that job posting, highlight what you believe, you possess as far as matching. Then take another highlight color and highlight the gaps, meaning the things that this job posting is requiring that you don't have, the skill sets that you don't have, the basic requirements that you don't have. And that is what we call a skill gap analysis. And so the most actionable thing that you can do is look at those job postings now. So even if you are about to separate in a year or about to retire in 10, look at the job postings now of those jobs that pique your interest so you can identify the skill sets that you have and then also identify the gaps gaps when it comes to those skill sets that those civilian jobs are requiring. That will help you identify your transferable skill sets. All right, so then the next step is to validate the skill sets. So most of us are walking out of the military with, some sort of formal education, whether it's a bachelor's degree or a master's, right? Some of us are not. But one of the best ways to validate the skill set that you have is through a professional certification. So at Vets to PM, we specialize in the PMP, the Project Management Professional Certification, also the CAPM, the ACP, which is Agile. We have HR, we have cyber, we have management. And so the point is to validate the skill set that you have. So the ones that you developed in the military, let's validate, that's provable fluency. Let's validate that skill set with a professional certification. And then when you earn your certification, you can keep your certification by completing professional development units, also known as PDUs, and we have a PDU university. So the first step is to identify your transferable skill sets. Every single one of you has them. You have a project management skill set for the most part, human resources management, right? And then you want to validate those skill sets, and that starts with the professional certification. And so people ask me all the time, like, well, I just see everyone has this certification and that certification. Like, when is enough, right? And my answer is stack the deck. Stack the deck. If you translate well, you will transition well. Identifying your skill sets and validating your skill sets with a professional certification will help you do that. And when we talk about stacking the deck, we're talking about focusing on what you can control. And so obviously there's a difference between explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge, right? Explicit knowledge are your degrees, your certifications, right? And tacit knowledge is the experience. And an effective candidate is going to come to the interview with a provable fluency of both, that you have the knowledge and you've done the skill set and you are able to prove, your accomplishments. All right. And then step 3 is to show and tell. So we have to show and tell these transferable skill sets and the fact that you spent time, energy, and money on validating those skill sets. So how do we do that? That's through the resume. That's through the interview, crafting your stories, right? And that's through your LinkedIn presence. We also have a podcast where we share lots of tips and tools from veterans that have gone through the transition before. And so it allows you to really see, what they did and what you can do and whatever it may be. But we want you to show and tell your skill sets, your accomplishments, your experience, your training. And we do that in the resume, the interview, and our LinkedIn profile. So Vets to PM provides a resume template and a resume video. We also have some interview workshops, and we have a LinkedIn optimization course. And mainly when it comes to showing and telling, it's being able to share your skill sets that you have developed in the military with people that don't have the experience. And so being able to craft your stories via the resume and the interview is so important. People ask me all the time, like, I'm applying for all these jobs and I'm not getting callbacks. And it's like, what you put on that resume matters. What you put on that resume matters. And so we take you through a process where we're showing you how to showcase that skill set. So stop listing your roles and responsibilities. Maybe one line that, identifies what you did in that job, but really what recruiters and hiring managers and employers want to see is you demonstrating that you can do what you did for this company at their company. And you're only going to do that when you show and highlight your accomplishments. So it starts with identifying your transferable skill set. Then you validate it, right? That provable fluency through validating your skill sets with a professional certification such as PMP, CAPM, ACP, Scrum, APHR, and the Certified Manager's certification. Then you want to show and tell. It's showtime, baby. You want to show and tell. You want to showcase your skill sets and what you did with those skill sets in the military and what you can do for a civilian employer. And then we want to get you plugged in. So there's lots of opportunities for you to get plugged in. First, let's go ahead and put you in our candidate database. Why? Because the more connections you have, the better off you will be, right? And so let's get you plugged into our candidate database. That way, the employers that we work with, our industry mentors that we work with, now can find you. And if they're looking for talent, they can go through our candidate database and see if any of our veterans have these skill sets that they're looking for. And then we also have other opportunities where you can get plugged in and connected. And so Vets PM, we manage the SkillBridge program for 70 plus companies. And so we provide DoD SkillBridge internships. So we have industry mentors that are partnering with us in order to provide veteran talent a place to show and tell. So we have lots of different SkillBridge opportunities, and we also have our job board where we have lots of direct hire opportunities as well. So I always like to say, when you go through, Vets to PM, we are the complete military transition or growth and development system. We're first going to help you identify your skill sets, those transferable skill sets, and then we're going to help you validate those skill sets. We'll teach you how to show and tell, and then we'll get you connected. So we'll have you in our candidate database, and then we'll plug you into some internship opportunities or direct hire opportunities as well. So that's what Vets to PM does. So if you translate well, you transition well. So let's talk about some of those certifications. So there's lots of different companies out there that are offering exam prep, right, for the PMP, for the APHR, whatever it may be. And so we really are in the Veterans Are Supported era, where it's a great place to be, right? Most of these companies have the veterans' best interests at heart. Now, again, we work with anyone and everyone. So anyone who wants to be a project manager or a human resources professional, or manages projects or manages human resources in their job, right, in their roles and responsibilities, because project management and human resources are skill sets. They're not just roles, responsibilities, careers, or industries, right? And so we train you in order to validate your experience with a professional certification. Lots of different companies that you can go with. So let me just showcase why Vets to PM is a viable option, right? Once again, you're not just purchasing an exam prep course, you're purchasing a complete military transition system. So we're going to give you the exam prep course. We're going to give you a 30-day study plan that has a 96% pass rate. So 8,000 plus students, 9 years, 96% first-time pass rate. We're going to walk you through the application process. We want you to be able to, translate your transferable skills. So we have an application tool for the PMP and for the PMI in order for you to, for the PMI ACP, in order for you to translate your skill sets, your project management skill set, because you have to apply in order to receive sort of a seat for the exam, right? So do you meet the credentialing authorities, requirements in order to sit for the exam? So we have an application tool where we truly help you translate your skill sets, your project management skill set from the military to the civilian sector. And then from there, we're partnering with you for life. You have lifetime access to our curriculum, lifetime access. So for some reason you sign up for our exam prep courses, and then you get deployed, or maybe a life event happens, you don't have to worry about, a year. We're going to be with you for a lifetime. And when you join our program and you become an alumni, you are receiving resume assistance through our resources, interview workshop prep, LinkedIn optimization, and so much more. You get additional training, such as 4-hour fundamentals in project management. That kind of helps you set the stage, right? It really helps you translate your transferable skill set. But we're also with you every step of the way. So when you apply for your PMP or for your ACP, we're there with you for, through audits. So audit protection. So if you get audited from the credentialing authority, we're there to help you, navigate that process. We haven't lost one yet. So we're there to help you. And then it's just the complete system. So we're going to plug you into our candidate database. We're going to, provide you the DoD SkillBridge internship opportunities and the direct hire opportunities. And we're really there to help you transition into a meaningful and lucrative post-service career. But it doesn't stop there. So we have a podcast that will, share actionable tips and tools on how you can navigate your transition. And so we have a podcast that features like veteran spotlights, people that are doing really good things right after the military, and also project managers and human resource professionals that will give you a different perspective. We have lots of exam prep courses, and then we also have PDU University and then career services. So if you're looking for individual attention when it comes to your resume or even finding a job, we offer that stuff as well. So when you're trying to choose who to utilize, I always say, look at what you're getting, for your money, right? You get what you pay for. And if it's a free service, awesome. But sometimes you get what you pay for or you get what you don't pay for, right? So Vets2PM has some free resources that we want you to tap into. So go to vets2pm.com/training, and then also take a look at our suite of resources that will help you achieve a meaningful and lucrative post-service career. If you need any assistance, find us on LinkedIn, connect with me there as well. And you can always email me at misty@vets2pm.com. So hopefully that helped sort of explore how you can translate well so you can transition well. Have a good day. We'll talk to you soon.